What's up, guys? Welcome to the MMA X Factor. This is episode 5. I'm your host, Notorious Picks. Today, I have a unique episode for you guys. I won't be breaking down fights. Instead, I have a very special guest on my podcast. He made a UFC debut about 10 days ago in New York. A very exciting fight. I don't think anyone's going to forget that fight anytime soon. And without further ado, I want to welcome my guest, Jose Shorty Torres. How are you doing, Jose?
I'm great, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Very excited to have you on. Just wanted to ask you, since it's been 9 or 10 days since your fight, how have you been enjoying your time since the fight?
I've been great, man. I've been getting a lot of respect. I've been getting a lot of promotion. The Ariel Helwani show, Sports Center, ESPN, um, guest fighter at UFC 225, getting meeting all the fighters I've always wanted to meet before, and legends like Uriah Faber and stuff like that. So, I mean, overall, it's been a little hectic, but I'm happy to be alive and really enjoying it.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Talking about UFC 225, I saw you in attendance. Were you able to catch Sergio Pettis versus Joseph Benavidez fight? And if so, what did you think about the fight?
Yeah, man, that was actually the second most popular fight for me, the most wanted to watch. One, I'm a flyweight fighter. Two, I've trained with both of them before. They both are friends of mine. So emotionally, I'm like, man, this is just a back and forth fight. It's awesome. I did believe Sergio Pettis was going to win. Honestly, that fight was a lot closer than I expected, and it did. I do believe it could have gone either way, honestly. But Sergio did well. He did well in the first round. He did well to stop the takedown. And Sergio, or excuse me, Benavidez, he's a leech. He stays on you no matter what. So. It was definitely awesome to see. I think they both had a phenomenal performance. Benavidez being a 2-year layoff, and Sergio again being the number one guy in the flyweight division besides Demetrius Johnson. So, I'm just excited to hopefully fight both of them one day, and show that I can compete with some of the best.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, the one of the topics that was hot in the media was the kind of a trend of flyweight bouts not being on the main card this whole year, and Joseph Benavidez kind of felt disrespected about it. Is that something that you also feel, and do you feel like you could be the guy to change that?
I don't feel it myself just because my fight was, a last minute. Jared Brooks
Yeah.
was already set for the prelim, so I understand it. I mean, John Anik was telling me even before the fight, if they would have found this out weeks ago, I could have been on the main card. So, it is nice boast of confidence, which is awesome. But, you know, Joseph Benavidez deserves to be on the main card every single time. He's number one flyweight in the
Yep.
world under the champion. So I really don't see why he was on the UFC Fight Press prelims. I know, understandably, the whole card was stacked with phenomenal fighters. So, I mean, worst comes to worst prelims, but not UFC Fight Pass. I do believe that's disrespect for him, and I do believe, I mean, you even see the Demetrius Johnson Cejudo rematch.
Yep.
It's a co-main event for a reason. Yeah, it's a good fight. And do I believe Cejudo deserves it? Yes. Do I believe Cejudo's going to win? No. But it's one of those things that people are just being recycled because they just keep staying on top. They keep beating the prospects like Cejudo beating Pettis and stuff like that. Yeah, Cejudo deserves a rematch, but no one wants to watch that match. It wasn't like the first one was close.
Hmm.
Do I believe he deserves it? Again, yes. Do I believe he's gonna win? No. So there's a reason why they're co-main event. There's a reason why UFC is not investing in that division.
Hmm. For sure. Let's talk about your UFC debut. Obviously, a very tough opponent in Jared Brooks. Was there anything that surprised you in the fight?
A little bit. I knew he was gonna start, standing up because I knew I was gonna be able to stop his takedowns and stuff his takedowns and just, be able to challenge him with the wrestling. But he decided to do more spinning stuff, be a little more open and, stay standing and be a little more of an exciting fighter. Again, wrestling is an exciting sport when you keep
Right.
it just wrestling and not mixed martial arts. Okay, it does, get some backlash because of it. And me, if anyone watches any of my fights, my first round is always horrible. I always start off super slow. I'm either getting dropped, I get punched in the face, I'm bleeding, something's already broken, That's just how I fight. I need to get slapped a couple times in the face to really be like, all right, I'm in a fight. And second round, chilled it. I was like, okay, cool. Like my turn. I'm starting to come forward, come forward, come forward. He's on his heels. And, I was able to get a clinch. He forced a takedown, and I was able to get into a nice scramble position, climbing down the body, locking the hips so he couldn't turn his body. putting my chest on his back so he couldn't arch his spine, and he really 100% wanted to do that. But all he forced a takedown because of it, overextended himself, and dazed himself when he fell. I just finished the job.
Yeah, like you said, one of the things that I believe really impresses me about you is your composure. No matter what happens, you always face that adversity in the first round, but you're always able to come through it. Like, was it something that you always knew you had inside of you, or is it something that you discovered on your journey in MMA?
It's something I discovered. I was a little more calm compared to the rest of the fighters in my gym. But my coach, Master Bob Shermer from Combat Dough, he's been my corner since I was 16 years old. He's always my head guy no matter where I travel in the world to train. And just having him in my corner keeps me calm, keeps me composed. It's one of those things that if I see him worried, okay, maybe I should be a little worried. But he's never worried. I mean, after the first round, I wasn't worried at all that I got dropped. It just, honestly, it happens. That's part of the sport. And I got up and I was perfectly fine. But when I looked at him, he's just like, "Hey, are you gonna fight? Are you gonna start trying now?" I'm like, "All right." He knows what I can do. He believes in me that much. And in any of the fights, I've broken my hand and tore my MCL in the very first round before in a fight. And we're just like, "Okay, it's okay. Just keep on going. It'll be done soon. We'll go to the hospital after. It's all right." So he's taught me a lot. The composure is probably the biggest thing. Is just staying calm, and the calm fighter usually always wins.
Yeah, that's very true. After the fight, I saw that you've mentioned Tim Elliott's name as a possible next opponent. What was the reasoning behind that, and how do you think you match up against him?
I think I match up very well. I'm more the technical fighter. He's more the awkward MMA of not knowing. He doesn't even know what he's going to throw next. So how am I going to know? Him and I have trained together, and I respect him that much that I want to fight him. For the people I call out, it's not that I disrespect them,
Right.
not that I think they aren't good fighters, whatever the case may be. I'm calling them out because I believe they're phenomenal fighters. They're exciting fighters, and I know I can put on a show against them, whether or not win or lose. I want people to say, "Hey, that was a great contest with Shorty. I want to see him come back." But Tim Elliott, he was the former flyweight champion before I was the undisputed champ. So when he bumped up to fight Demetrius Johnson, I was bumping up to defend my world title. It was technically supposed to be against him, but he won the contest. So I want to see who would have been the real undisputed champion in Titan FC if he would have lost the tournament and came back to fight me. So, it's just more of a pride thing. Plus, I just know he's an exciting fighter. Him and I have trained together, lived together, talked about it. And we know, honestly, it's a fan entertaining fight. It has a backstory, and it's something the fans want. I know he does, I believe he has an ACL tear in his leg, so he's not going to be fighting for a few months. But until then, I'm more than happy to fight whomever. Didn't matter if my last minute call was against Jared Brooks, Tim Elliott, Ryan Benoit, Sergio Pettis, Joseph Benavidez, or even the top guy, Demetrius Johnson. I'm just ready to prove that I'm the best flyweight in the world.
And do you want to take some time off, or do you want to be back in Octagon soon?
Honestly, I'm going to be back as soon as possible, but I want a full training camp. I've had 9 calls in UFC, all of them being 10-day or less notice, which is just kind of how you make the UFC nowadays. Right. It really sucks. But, pushing forward, I want a full training camp. I'm not 100% disappointed with my performance. I just didn't get to finish the way I usually finish. Like, the scramble worked out well, but when it comes to media, when it comes to people looking at it that are not educated, I didn't technically, create I didn't cause 100% the knockout, but I did cause it when it came to, hey, I put you in this position. You can either just fall or you can force it. Well, he decided to take, plan B, force it, knock himself out because of it. But I want to be able to put on a real show and show that I can do what I believe I can do and what the fans really expected of me, mainly with all the hype I was having coming in. So I want a full 2-month training camp, and I believe September would be the best card to come in.
Okay. I believe the momentum was switching in that second round before the slam. I think you were coming forward. I think he maybe was slowing down. So I think you were taking over in that fight. That comes with your relentless pressure. Do you attribute that to your cardio and strength and conditioning, or do you think you always had that?
I definitely have always had that. A lot of people was my teammate and I, Chepe Marisco, were just guys who literally are in the tire, or in the phone booth, if people want to call it, and just go back and forth. And literally, it's kind of like my turn combination, your turn combination, my turn. And we never back up until somebody gets tired. And we can do that for 5 rounds. So I've been doing that since I was 16 years old, pushing forward. We have that the Mexican conditioning, if people want to call it. That's honestly what a lot of people tell me. Like, man, you Mexicans just push forward. I was like, that's honestly all we know. You look at Mexican boxing, we're not the most technical, but we push forward. And I'm half Puerto Rican, so I have the technical side forward. So I have a lot of fun doing it. And, it's just one of those things that I've trained with some of the best, Dotson, TJ Dillashaw, Cub Swanson, BJ Penn, and they've all told me that just my forward pressure alone, whether it's in the first round or the fifth round in practice, it always stays the same and it's always relentless. And it's honestly all I've been taught. I've never learned how to move backward. I never learned how to, start dodging or weaving, go side to side. I just like going forward and put on a fight. I'm more of a Manny Pacquiao type of fighter, hit to get hit. So
Right.
as long as the fans are entertained, that's technically my job, and that's what I want to do.
Oh, fans are definitely entertained, man. Speaking of TJ Dillashaw, are you gonna fly to Colorado to help him train for a Cody rematch?
He hasn't called me yet. Him and I, talk every once in a while. He did congratulate me after my fight and just wish me good luck before the fight. But, he's doing his thing. I know he has a great squad right now helping him for the fight. We'll see. I did help him for Lineker. I helped him for Cody in the last one. If he calls me, I'm more than happy to help him. But if he doesn't, I'm more than certain that he's 100% ready for this fight and probably even that much more prepared for this one.
All right. And what makes training in Colorado so special?
Man, Colorado is honestly one of the best. There's two reasons to train there. One is Dwayne Ludwig. Dwayne Ludwig is just a phenomenal coach. The stuff he taught me, even coming in, with fighters that aren't 100% fighters that just want to go there and train, they know so much more than I do, and they've never even been in the cage. I'm just like, man, I feel like a white belt all over again because they do have like a Muay Thai kickboxing belt system for themselves, and I come in with my white shirt as the white belt. I'm just like, why do I feel so new? Like, I've been doing this since I was 4 years old. Why can't I do the combinations? Or why don't I know how to switch stance? Why don't I know how to throw my left or this or that? So it was fun having that challenge all over again, kind of like starting the sport, brand new.
Right.
So Dwayne Ludwig, I mean, he's just a phenomenal coach, very, very smart, very humble. He took care of me a lot, so he's just a phenomenal person. And next thing is the elevation. The altitude is ridiculous. You're never going to get a spot like that is that high, that is training. Again, the Olympic Training Center is there as well for a reason. You want to get in that altitude to train at the highest possible level, the thinnest, the oxygen possible, to just keep that conditioning up. And for me, at the time, I was always fighting in tightness sea, which was Miami Beach, which was sea level. So when it came to conditioning, it was no problem. It was always at ease. So Colorado is just, in general, a phenomenal place to train.
For sure. So right now you're out of camp, obviously. What is your plan? Are you going to try to learn new techniques, or are you going to look at the film and try to correct the mistakes that you made in the past bout?
Honestly, I'm not looking back at the film just because it was 9-day notice, 26 pounds, all the publicity, all the media. I didn't have time to mentally prepare for the fight. Was I physically ready? Kind of, sort of. I was getting ready for a 145-pound fight instead of a 125-pound fight, a different fighter. This came in last minute. So coming in, it's just more of I did what I did, and, so be it. The only problem I had was I started slower than usual. Like, yes, first round I always get beat up, so be it. But it's usually the first half of the first round. And then the second half, it's like, okay, my turn. Time to do my thing. Time to do this. But it just didn't work out as planned. It could have been the UFC jitters. It could have been the 9-day notice and not mentally really preparing for the fight. Because by the time I got in there, I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot I'm fighting. But for me, it's more of I needed too much training camp, prepare for a specific type of fighter, and just be ready instead of kind of seeing what I'm doing next, doing this, eating ice cream, having fun, going out with friends. All right, I'm training again. I'm helping this person, helping that person. So, I want to focus on myself for this training camp, and I believe because of that, I'll be that much better.
For sure. Sounds good, man. And lastly, I just want to give you an opportunity if you want to give some shout-outs to your sponsors or just tell people how to find you on social media. The floor is yours, man.
Yeah, my sponsors definitely know who they are. There'll be another 15 minutes for sure with all my sponsors, and I appreciate all the love and support by them, my fans, my family, my friends, all of them. But I always do say we came to go together. We are Team Shorty. So if anybody wants to support me and be a part of the team, Jose Shorty Torres on Instagram, Shorty Torres 125 on Twitter, Jose Shorty Torres with quotations around Shorty on Facebook, and TeamShorty.com for all my merchandise that does ship worldwide. And I appreciate all of the support. Actually, anything on my website that is sold, 20% of all the earnings go to the kids in my gym so they can travel, train, compete. And, it's not just giving back to me. It's helping me for my training camp, but it helps the kids get out of the neighborhood like me. So it gives them a great opportunity in life.
That was very beautiful that you're giving back to community. That's awesome, man. Thanks for coming on my show, man. I really appreciate it, and I really hope to see you in the octagon very soon.
Me too. I appreciate it, man. I can't wait to do it again.
Thanks.